This is an early morning here in Molokai, and I'm looking out over the ocean. The island you see here is Lanai, and right now we don't have any clouds over it, so you can actually see the entire island here. The ocean is very, very calm today, and at least at this moment there is very little wind. I am pretty much a couple of miles east of Kaunakakai. That will be in that direction. This is the one and only highway here, and people live pretty much right next to the highway, all the way out to the eastern side here. Two minutes after I stopped the first time here, I came to this beach park. The view is the same, of course, but I just wanted to see what kind of beach they have here. It's very different from these beautiful sandy beaches you have seen, for instance, in Waikiki and things like that. It's totally different. It's more brown sand here. It's more rough, and that's probably because this island here is made up of a little bit different material here. And that also makes the water look brown here, because there are so many sediments down here in the sand. I'm just looking down in the water here, and yeah, you can see it's all brown here. Nevertheless, it's really, really pretty. And a day like this is a weekend, keep that in mind, and there are no people here, none. And the entire island here is very, very traditional. This is really the old school Hawaii, how it used to be. You have palm trees, and actually the palm trees are basically the tallest structures here on the island, if I can call them structures, because you don't find anything taller than these trees here. Everything is very low. Most homes here, all the way to the eastern side, are pretty much 50 to 100 yards from the ocean. The building style is definitely plantation style. I would say most of the stuff built here is very old. It's like 100 years old, and people still take care of those homes here. All right, let's continue here. As you can see, most of the buildings here are down on the right side, which is basically pretty much right next to the beach. You have people living on the other side of the road too, of course, but many people live right on the beach, and they have probably done that for a few generations. And I'm going straight east at the moment here. Up here we have the highest point of the island, and right now you can actually see the top there. Normally it's surrounded by clouds, of course, but It will be maybe 2 hours later, I think, and I just took the opportunity to show you how green it is up there. And the road, as you can see, is just following pretty much the coastline here. And you could actually stop anywhere and just go down and relax. I'm not sure if I would like to hop out and do swimming here because of the color of the water, but it's just sand, right? This volcano sand in the water. That's what it is. I think I'm lucky actually, because the weather is so great today, and that gives me many opportunities here to actually see the best of the best of this island here. Molokai is just a pearl in itself. It's just so beautiful actually, and so little people, which makes it even better. It's easily, I think, the gem here in Hawaii, because you can be exploring anything and nobody will bother you here, okay? And that's really good. I found this wetland area here, and I think I'm pretty much halfway out to Halawa Valley, which is this beautiful place right on the tip of eastern Molokai. And crossing the street here, and this wetland area basically covers the entire place here, as you can see. It's really a pretty place. And I would say it's maybe 500-600 yards down to the ocean. It's kind of behind the trees you see here. And more clouds are building up here. This is pretty much a typical living area here on the eastern side. You have these very low buildings, you have beautiful older trees everywhere, you have chicken running around, and you hear them definitely all the time. Sometimes they have other animals running around. So people here on the island live very close to nature, that is for sure. Suddenly I discovered this little church here. Like I said, nothing is taller than the palm trees, and that goes for the church as well. Take a look at this one. How cool is that? And they have a little graveyard area right here. And a little white house that could be the keeper of this church. That's just a crazy wild guess. And here I can read, they say built by Saint Damien in 1876. They say church is always open, please come in. Okay. Wow, look at this. How great is this? Wow. built of wood. We see the floor here. And it smells wood in here. What an interesting place. And we have the main altar here with the cross. We have some candle here, candlelight. I don't recognize these people, but that must be Father Damien here. And that could be Mother Marianne. She was kind of helping Father Damien in Kalaupapa. And I will close the door in just a second here. Maybe this is a statue of Father Damien. The lock itself is very interesting. Somebody just hammered that out and made it. And the hinges are very, very sturdy. Massive hinges. And the whole building is above the ground, lifted up maybe 18 inches to get away from the wet ground here. So I was lucky, I found a piece of history right here. And when you drive around, you will always, if you have the time, you will always find some cool little place where you can stop for a few minutes and learn something new, right? I found some old ranch equipment here. Well, it's some kind of fencing. I think they used to have cattle here. We have a gate, and there's a lot of land up here where you could have maybe goats, because I just saw a goat, and yeah, they would love it out here. Look at the color of the highway here. It's all rusty brown. And I stopped here because down here, let me see if I can show you. Down here we have some kind of farming here. You see they have some trees, I think, and they are putting up this green net around it to protect the crops here. And I am clueless. I don't know what they are making here or producing. Maybe you know. I mean, I've seen that all over the world, right? When people actually protect the stuff. Otherwise birds and rats or insects will come and destroy the whole thing here. And this goes on at least a few hundred yards here, and then behind that you have the ocean. Another thing you will see when you come to Molokai is that people are not very friendly. They don't like tourists, and that's what I mean. You see these signs, they say tourist, go home. I just saw a sign that said visit, spend, go home. And that sign was just around the corner here where this white car came from. So expect to see that. There's another sign here. They really don't want to see you here. Wow, you see these signs everywhere here. So, and this is very typical here on the eastern side. keep in mind, all the Hawaiians here think they are from Hawaii, but they are not. Originally, they also came from another spot, and now they claim this like a sacred ground for themselves. And I don't know, guys, what do you think? Can they do it? Maybe they can, maybe not, I don't know. But they will do anything they can here to protect their own land. I wanted to show you this Kilohana elementary school here, and specifically the schoolyard here. Let me go into the shade here. Take a look at this place. Kids growing up in these big cities, they have these small, schoolyards surrounded by barbed wire pretty much. But here, look at the open space. Look at the volcano in the background. All the beautiful trees they have here with flowers. A very, very nice basketball court here. You can't really find that in many locations, but you can here in Hawaii. You can go to, the big island, even Oahu. Maybe Maui will have places like this. So it's really, really cool, right? And the air is so fresh because you are like 2,500 miles from the nearest land. It makes it like a perfect place. Right behind the school here, we have some traditional Hawaiian homes hiding here in the forest. It's beautiful, right? Wow, I like these traditional homes here. I mean, it would be cool to have one and live in there and fix it, because many of these older homes, they have termite problems. Hard to drive with one hand when I'm closing the window, but okay, I'm back. Yeah, and they have a lot of termites, so unless you protect the wood here, these homes will just fall apart over time. And the road is really narrow now. It's a very nice area here, by the way. And we have another church. Wow, hiding in the background. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Look at this. Here we have the ocean. Pretty much 6 feet from the ocean we have the highway. Then we have Saint Damien's, Our Lady of Seven Sorrows. It was actually built by Father Damien in 1874. So this church up here is really old. And one thing is clear, when they built stuff in the past, they really, really had good taste, because they picked a spot so beautiful, so it's like ridiculous. Take a look at this. It can't really be better, right? What a nice place to have a little church. It is slightly bigger than the one we saw before, and also a little bit older. and they also have like some burial ground right next to the church up here. Here we have some land where they keep, at least at some point, cattle. And these stone walls here are pretty old. They actually cleaned the land a long time ago here. But right now I can't see anything except green grass, right? I'm walking out a little bit here. I like the fence they have here. They use the old wood here instead of going to, you know, Home Depot. This is much better. It looks natural and it blends in, and it creates some kind of charm of this area. That's a nice driveway, by the way. We have the church in the background here. So this land here is very, very nice. And I think, yeah, way over there I see a cow. So they actually have some kind of farm animals here. I think I'll stop right here. Yeah, being here is an amazing experience. I mean, I drive like 2 minutes, then I stop. I drive another 2 minutes and I stop. You find so many cool things out here, so it's not funny really. I mean, it's really cool. And take your time. Don't stress. You know, when you come to an island like this, you kind of need to blend in with nature a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. Even though there is some kind of stress here because, you know, you have a plane to catch or, you know, things like that. But anyway, you can't go wrong if you come to Molokai, okay? Just saying. So let's continue. If you're hungry or you need food, there is hope actually before you get out to the eastern side of this island here, because they actually have a little store right here and they sell pretty much anything you need. You can buy meat, you can buy fruit, drinks, cookies, potato chips, all that stuff, from healthy to unhealthy. So I recommend you to make a little pit stop right there in case you are starving, right? And many people do actually. I noticed that they come and go really a lot. Now the road is extremely curvy here. And this is just after we left the little store I just showed you. And I'm sure the road here is just following the coastline itself. But the vegetation is so green here. And here we have some guys biking. And it's funny because when you see guys doing that, you know they are tourists, right? Because no locals will sit on a bicycle. Now they have all these smaller trucks or beaten down older cars, things like that. Here and there, the land is opening up. We also need to keep in mind that people lived on this side of the island for many, many years. The western side has nothing, really. It's just a flat land, and they might have used that part for agriculture in the past, but here people actually lived. So you have all these smaller farms still in existence. Here we have Maui, and we see the first mountain range here on the western side of Maui, and behind that you have the Haleakala volcano, right? I go slightly to the right here and we see Lanai again. And down there is a beautiful little beach. And the road will just pretty much continue here. And before you know it, we start climbing up to the left. Before I'm leaving, I just need to enjoy the view here and check out Maui on the other side here. So I think the little town here we are looking at kind of straight out is Lahaina. You can't see it very well, but you see some lights maybe. It's actually the sun creating some reflections out there, and that's probably some roof out in Lahaina, right? And Lahaina used to be the old capital, by the way, for at least a few years. They have been moving that around. And you know, the king, when he invaded, you know, these islands here, he came from the big island, so that kind of was, you know, the capital for a while, and now it's Honolulu. When people with money come to the island to buy property, they most likely buy property here. It's another church. Wow, this one is built in 1855. It's amazing. Well, the video is not about churches, but there are plenty of churches on this island, so you can't really avoid them. And they are part of the history here, by the way. In a big way, I would say. And here you have like 2 half lanes. That's pretty much what you have here. So it's an interesting drive. We are very low right now, right next to the ocean, and just around the corner here we have to cut over to the other side. now it became only one lane here. It's really interesting to see and think on how people actually managed to live here back in the days, say 200 years ago or even 100 years ago. How could they do that? I mean, it's really hard, right? You can't just live on coconuts because you have plenty of coconuts out here, but there must be other things, right? You must have some kind of cattle. Well, fish, of course, is probably a main source of protein. Fruit, maybe. Maybe they have chicken. Plenty of chickens here. And if you can go out and pick the eggs, then you have some good breakfast. Even 200 years ago. I think I'll stop here for a second. Take a look at the beach here. It's like a dream beach. Wow. And you might notice that the water here is much clearer than it is right next to Kaunakakai, right? The sand is also lighter in color. It's more like what you would expect when you think on sand. So it's really a cool place. And somebody built a house up on the hill here. You can't beat that view from up there. I can't remember exactly, but I think the road is going around the tip out there, and maybe a couple of minutes after that it will actually go up to the left and cross over and then go down again to the water on the other side here. And I'm kind of excited to do that, so let's move on. Look at the sign here. Visit, spend, go home. And you see this all over the place here. And this is about the tourists coming to this island here. I'm not sure what to say. It speaks for itself, right? And this sign says Honolulu Bridge. And where is the bridge? Well, it's right here. I just want to see that one because it's kind of original here. Yeah, here's the bridge. It's kind of cool, right? I can't see any date on it. I'm not sure when they built it, but it's definitely an older structure. And the water is going straight out in the bay here. In a few years, this one will create a new palm tree here, or coconut tree. You can come back out and find fresh coconuts. We are lucky to have no other cars here because the road is really narrow, as you can see here. And you could easily end up in the ocean here. So it's kind of meaningless to have a big car here, because what are you going to do? But it's very, very fun at the same time, right? Here's another little old bridge. And the guy is cleaning the grass here. In my opinion, if I lived here, I would not choose to live way out here because it's always windy, and the land is not flat anymore, as you can see. I mean, you would live kind of on a cliff. Wow. You can clearly see where we came from on the other side here. This is the famous Halawa Valley, and you can clearly tell that the altitude is much higher up here. Lots of green fields, and I'm guessing, what do we have left? Maybe 10-15 more minutes and I should be by the ocean on the other side here. Right now it's a little bit windy here and the temperature has dropped. Not much, but a few degrees at least. I can clearly feel it. So it will be fun to go to the end. It's extremely green up here, and also very, very windy most of the time. I can tell you that. And yeah, it will be a little bit of zigzag here, and then suddenly it will go down on the other side. Suddenly here in the middle of this valley here, I found this nature farm here. I see bananas down here, I see beautiful flowers, other crops, also a bunch of beehives up here, so maybe they produce honey. And this is really cool. It's probably one of these organic farms they have here. And I love those. Those are really great. And to my surprise, there is a little store in the end here. I'm not sure what they are selling though, but I think I will stop there and take a look. Why not? You can clearly see the sign there, store open. Okay, let's do it. To be a store, it's pretty cute, right? And they sell locally crafted gifts and tasty snacks. And the area itself is very, very neat. Very cool, actually. So I'm not sure if I can film in there, but at least I will go inside. Yeah, this is actually inside the store. It's pretty cool. They have, you know, a lot of locally produced craft in here, I guess. And you can buy honey, drinks, stuff you need. Oh, candy. Lots of candy here. That is pretty good. And the best part, I think, would be maybe the honey. Locally produced here. And they have a few different kinds of honey here, but this is my choice. I buy this little honey. And what is this? This is coffee, of course. I can't survive without that coffee. So I'm happy. It's really fun to drive here, but the speed limit is mostly 10. Here it goes up to 20. So I guess you need to, plan on being here for a while, because you can't really do any distance in a few minutes, right? It will take basically the whole day to go out here. And people have guns out here because all the road signs have bullet holes in them. And here's a view from above. It's so beautiful. I take down the window here. Take a look. I hope you can see that. That's really, really nice. And maybe you can see that there is a waterfall, beautiful waterfall in the background here. I'll take up the window here. Okay, we are almost at the end of the road. That was really a cool drive. This is the Halawa Beach Park. I finally made it to the end. This is it. You can't go more east in Molokai. You can sit down and enjoy your snack that you brought. Somebody also put up a swing in case you like to relax on that one. And then the waterfall is producing, some little river here, and I think it's coming out here in the ocean. I see a couple of visitors out there. And you see here, it's actually moving pretty fast. The water here, and it's going straight out in the ocean. And this is really a pretty place, and it's definitely a must if you come to this side of the island, right? And I bet many people actually hike out to the waterfall itself. And my problem is I'm not really sure where and how to do it. And I'm not even sure I have the energy. Anyway, do not drive here. These are sacred burial grounds. Well, I can imagine, right? People have been here for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And many people died, and they had to put them somewhere. And this is one of these places. I'm sure they have a lot of wildlife here. Hard to see in the daytime, of course. Wow, what a nice place. A little bay. Lots of rocks here. And deep inside this valley, we have this magnificent waterfall. I also noticed they have a lot of coconuts here in this area. Every tree here is a coconut tree, and if you have the energy you could go up and grab a coconut and eat it. It's really fresh, tastes very, very good. It's very, very warm here, and you could actually survive here with very, very little. You can just lie down, take a nap, sleep, and live here forever. The food is behind us here in the ocean. You can see the upper part of the waterfall way, way, way up there. Maybe it's a mile in, maybe more, I'm not sure. It's tempting, but it's also a hard walk. I'll probably skip it. And when you protect yourself from the wind behind some green stuff here, it is very warm actually.